Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. I'm going to get some tea today, man. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning. How are you? Thanks so much for joining us. Good morning. New Black Wall Street Money Talks today. We'll be talking about 10 things that require zero talent. I'll also be sharing with you. I wanted to talk about a few things this morning. One of the questions I'm going to ask is, well, do you really want to be rich? Do you really want to get rich? That's the one question I'll ask. We'll do our daily motivations today. So 3 things we'll try to cover within this time frame that we have as we just meet in the morning and try to get our day started properly, man. Terrific Tuesday. Good morning to you, Ms. Almanor. Thanks so much for joining. Happy Tuesday to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, I'm not going to delay because I got a lot to talk about this morning. Hopefully you are ready to receive. It's time to get this show on the road. New Black Wall Street Money Talks with ERGJ. Mr. DJ hits the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
Hey, Grand Rising to you, billionaires. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street Money Talks with ERGJ. I'm your host, ERGJ. Your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The Black Billionaires Club is a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way, but if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. Uh-oh, it did it again. I'm gonna have to keep messing around with this thing. I don't like that. Let me hit the refresh. I got to get this thing going on, man. Everything DMV Radio. Thanks so much for joining. We got a little delay here in my video. There we go. Let's try this again. Hey, woo! Again, guys, The Black Billionaires Club, Study of Black Wealth. You can pick up that copy of that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up the hard copy. Also, you can pick up the ebook if you like. We do have available in French as well for our brothers and sisters in diaspora, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Today's sponsor is ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace where we specialize in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. Of course, you can check us out at www.ergjblackbazaar.com. www.ergjblackbazaar.com. And when you go there, guys, I want you to check out It's a Sale. It's a sale because we're going to put some more stuff on sale today. In case you guys don't know, I have severed a relationship with a supplier, a Black-owned supplier, and all of their stuff is going on sale today. So go ahead and make sure you check out It's a Sale. Get you a good deal. Get you some good gifts for the holidays, for your your family and stuff like that. So go ahead and check us out. I'll update all of this stuff here today because it truly is a sale, and you guys get to capitalize off of what I would consider to be a little bit of misfortune. Okay, a little bit of misfortune. www.ergjblackbazaar.com. www.ergjblackbazaar.com. Once you shop Black, you never go back. Once you shop Black, you never go back. Man, hit the like button and share button if you care today. Hit the like button and share button if you care. Also, while you're connecting, go ahead and let us know where you're connected from. What city, what state, what country, possibly. Broadcasting this morning across the World Wide Web, across Facebook, across YouTube, across Instagram. We don't know who we might be meeting or how far our reach might go today. So we'd like to know what city, what state, what country you're representing. That's right. Rep your city. This morning, we're broadcasting live here from ERGJ Studios in Decatur, Georgia. That's right. Decatur, where is greater. And I'd like to know where you're connected from as well. So let's get it started today, guys. We're going to start this morning with daily motivations for African-American success. This comes out of the book written by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbrough. We got to start with some motivation. How about we do that? We got to start off on the good foot. Might have got out of the bed on the wrong foot. We're going to get on the right foot. Daily motivations for African-American success. And today's title is Pour Me a Cup Oh, Lord, what you going to talk about today, Mr. Kimbrough? Pour me a cup. That's right, man. My cup runneth over. And here is today's quote of the day. Our quote of the day comes from Charles Rangel. He's a congressman. And he says this, and I quote, "We deserve everything we can get. We spilled the blood. We shed the tears. No one is given more than us. And now it's payback time." Everybody put it also payback. Now it's payback time. In our passage of the day, let's read. Let's see what motivation we got today. He said, a friend of mine attending a conference was surprised to notice that everyone at the breakfast table had coffee but him. He felt a little miffed and said, "Why didn't I get coffee?" A guest at the table answered, "Your cup is upside down. You have to turn your cup over. When it comes to receiving all that life has to offer, we must turn our cup over." Everybody put a console, I'm turning my cup. In order, when it comes to receiving all that life has to offer, and that key word is all. See, I don't know about you, but I'm in a position right now in life where I'm tired of just getting some. I'm tired of just getting just a little. I'm tired of just getting it every now and then. I'm in a position now where I'm ready to receive all that life has to offer. But in order to do that, I must turn my cup over. Why do you have such qualms about anticipating and accepting abundance? Maybe it's due to the role that Black Americans have been forced to play in society. Historically, we have rendered services that were largely taken for granted. Years of slavery and discrimination have taken their toll on our psyche. We learn to give to others but expect nothing for ourselves. In order to invite abundance into our lives, we need to feel worthy of the myriad of blessings life has to offer. Peace and harmony, health and energy, supportive relationships, a decent education, and satisfying careers, to name a few. Whatever the reason for our hesitancy in accepting all, and I mean all, forms of prosperity, it is important now that we change any limiting beliefs and awaken to the realization that we deserve to live abundant lives. We need to turn our cups over and allow abundance to pour in until they overflow. We need to turn our cups over until the abundance overflows. Now, we're in the church, we say, my cup runneth over. Well, your cup can't runneth over if your cup ain't turned over. Your cup can't run over if your cup isn't ready to receive. I'm telling you, what I'm learning in life is it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to be about it. Have you put yourself in position to receive all that life has to offer? Have you turned your cup over? Here's our affirmation of the day. Here's what you want to allow to take root into your subconscious, your heart. It's got to be a seed that's sown today. And then it can cultivate. And you can cultivate it yourself by repeating this over and over and over again until it brings forth a harvest of abundance, a harvest of overflow into your life. Repeat after me. I deserve to live abundantly. I am worth every blessing life has to offer. Again, repeat after me. I deserve to live abundantly. I am worth every blessing life has to offer. Let's do it one more time for the people in the back. Our daily affirmation. This time, say it with some conviction. Put your heart and soul into it. Bring it about by using your mouth. Repeat after me. I deserve to live abundantly. I am worth every blessing life has to offer. Pour me a cup. Daily Motivations for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbrough. Daily Motivations for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbrough. Well, my beautiful people, my question to you today, and then we'll get into the 10 things that require zero talent. I want to start here, though, because I find it very, very interesting, because it kind of goes along with what we just talked about. My question to you is, do you really want to be rich? Do you really want to be rich? And we can say this a lot of different ways. Do you really want to be wealthy? Do you really want to be debt-free? Do you really want to have more? Do you really want more out of life? Do you really want to be prosperous? I don't care how you say it. My question to you is, do you really want to be rich? Now, why do I ask this question? Because as Dr. Kimbrough said, he says we seem to be in a position as African Americans where he said, hey, why do we have such qualms about anticipating and accepting? Everybody put in the console, anticipate and accept. Anticipate, what is that word? That means to look forward to. That means that I expect good things to happen for me. I wake up every morning expecting to get paid. I wake up expecting to have prosperity flow into my life. I anticipate it. I look forward to it. I expect it. Many people don't. They don't expect good things to happen to them. They don't anticipate earning more money today than they did yesterday. They don't expect to make a sale. They don't expect or anticipate. They don't put a command into the universe, basically telling God himself, the universe himself, this is what I want today. Anticipate. And then accept. To accept it. To say, yes, I turn my cup over, come into my hands. I accept it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Attitude of gratitude. To accept the good things. To accept the good people. To accept the good things in life. Now, here's the interesting thing. It's accept, A-C-C-E-P-T. Not accept, it's like an exception to the rule, but to accept, to receive, A-C-C-E-P-T. Now, what I find is for us, those of us who have I don't want to say this, who really are fucked up in the head. I mean, my goodness, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and the mind plays tricks on people so much that they dispel, they reject the good things. They reject the good people. They reject those things, and they accept the bad. They accept those who mistreat them. They accept those who lie to them. They accept poverty. They accept these bad, negative things that they complain about, but yet they reject the things that come into their life to change those things. It's amazing when I go into the school system and I talk to the kids and I ask them a simple question like this. Do you want to be rich? You would be amazed how difficult it is for our children to raise their hand and say, yes, Mr. Jefferson, I want to be rich. Out of the 30 students in a class, only 2 will raise their hands, as if being rich is a problem, as if I don't deserve to be rich. As if, why should I want to be rich? Well, damn, why should you want to be broke? And I say to myself, well, where is this coming from? Well, it's coming from the parents who, at the same time, don't accept and don't anticipate being rich. Therefore, we accept being broke. We accept just over broke. We accept just enough. But I'm trying to tell you, why settle for just enough when more than enough is available? Why settle for just enough when more than enough is available? Now, this is probably one of the biggest quandaries in life. Like, why are we accepting less than the best? When we know, you see, we will say stuff like, all things are possible. We will say this stuff, but it holds no weight. It has no power because we typically really don't believe what we may regurgitate, what we may repeat out of our mouth. It is a very interesting thing to see people say one thing, but you can tell in their actions that they believe something else. But they put on a front. Yes, I went to church on Sunday. Yes, I got a good word. Yes, I know scripture, but my life does not reflect that which I've read. My life does not reflect that which I say I believe. And I tell you, I've learned to accept people for what they show, not what they say. Once you show me who you are, that is who I believe, until you show me something different. I don't give a damn what you say at this point, because I can't hear what you say because I watch what you do. And I believe our children are saying the same thing. I am confused by my parents. I'm confused by these adults because they say one thing, yet they do and they live another. Don't be that guy. Don't be that woman. Don't be that man who confuses all of life. And I want to tell you that this is one of the main reasons why you are not getting what you say you want, because you are living in instability. You're living out of harmony. You're saying one thing, telling the universe, yes, I want this. Yes, I want more. And then you go out and you act as though you're broke. You're arguing over $1. What the hell is $1 to a billionaire? That's not worth arguing. That's not worth an argument. That's not worth discussion. Let it go. You'll get more. But you argue over pennies, and you're supposed to be a billionaire. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. So do you really want to be rich? Now, of course, I'm not a person that just preaches. I just might better say preach. I'm not a person that just preaches. I teach. I show. When a young lady came out with me this Friday, and she was broke, busted, and disgusted, and she hung out with a man to show you how you can get rich, and she left with $175 in her pocket. The next day, she called me. You know what she said? She said, "You made a believer out of me." And I've been thinking about this phrase. You made a believer out of me. Now, this is a person who has been going to church her whole life. She had just went to church last Sunday, but it took someone to show her so that she could believe. And I believe that many of our brothers and sisters are in the same position, that they're going to the house without belief, waiting on someone to show them. Matter of fact, I can back it up with the Bible itself, because guess what Jesus did? Jesus walked the land, and he saw some brothers doing their thing and working hard. And you know what he said to them? Follow me. That tells me that as they were walking with the master teacher, he was showing them some things. He wasn't just preaching. He was showing. And that's the problem with the church today. And I'm not just talking about the church. When I say the church, I'm talking about people who all they do is talk And there's nothing wrong with preaching. But at some point, we got to get to some teaching. At some point, we have to show. At some point, we have to say, follow me. At some point, you need to have an apprentice. At some point, you need to be a mentor. At some point, you need to be a role model. At some point, you need to tell the young bucks, you need to tell the young sisters, follow me. But don't tell them to follow you if you can't lead them to prosperity. Don't tell them to follow you if you're going to be a hypocrite. We don't need them following you. But at some point, do what Jesus did and tell your brothers or your youth or the people in your community, the people that you have influence on. And once you get your ish together and you realize I'm at a totally different plane now. I have a different mindset now. I'm getting different results now. Follow me. I can lead you to a land flowing with milk and honey. I can show you the way. I got the keys now. The keys have always been available, but now I have the keys in my hand. And I'm looking for brothers and sisters, and I'm saying to them, follow me. Now, many of you that are watching right now, you got plenty of followers. You got followers on Facebook. You got followers on Instagram. You got followers on YouTube. You got followers in real life. My question to you is, where are you leading them? When I look at this thing called your timeline, what does it show? Is it showing more drama? Is it showing fights and violence? Is it showing more twerking? Is it showing more makeup? Is it showing more? I mean, just think about what I'm saying. You already have people that are following you. The question is, where are you leading them? Are you leading them to Jesus? Are you leading them to the promised land? Are you leading them to the land flowing with milk and honey? Are you leading them to a better life? Are you leading them to happiness? Are you leading them to peace? Are you leading them to stress-free? Are you leading them to debt-free? Are you leading them to freedom at all? Where the hell are you leading your followers? See, some of us, we take this stuff for granted. It's all a game. It's a game. And you have no consciousness. You're unconscious about the things that you're doing and the places that you're leading your followers. Are you leading your followers to confusion? Or are you leading your followers to say one thing and to do another? Are you leading your followers to anger? Are you leading your followers to out of control? Where are you leading your followers? See, I know what I've been called to do. I know my mission. It's very simple: to help Black folk get out of debt and get rich. What do? Every day, I have the opportunity. You know what I do? I lead my followers to get out of debt and to get rich. That's what I've been called to do. I don't know what you've been called to do. But my question is, as you think about whatever it is that God has called you to do, whatever statement, whatever legacy that you've been called to leave, are you leading your followers in that direction? If I were to look at your timeline right now, would it show that you are leading, or would it show that you're leading by example? If I look at every post that you post, which is a representation of you and your mind and your thinking, your feeling, and how you feel and all that stuff, will it show me? Not what you talk about, but what you do. Will it show me that you're leading your followers into the place where God has called you to lead? You never took your post or your timeline so serious, have you? You never realized that you never know who might be watching. Where are you leading your followers? Now, I ask this question, do you really want to be rich? Because I have found that most people don't really want to be rich. They like the idea of being able to, buy what they want to buy and go where they want to go, and at times when they want to have times, right? But the idea of being rich requires something called work. And it's amazing. Just like the young children, when I go into the schools and I say, hey, do you want to be rich? And out of 30 children, only 2 will raise their hand. It's the same thing with adults. I'll say something like this. Hey, last week, I sold 40 sets of sheets. I made over $1,000 last week. Is there anybody who wants to get rich selling sheets? You would be amazed of the lack of response. I said, okay, I guess nobody wants to sell sheets to get rich. Okay, I'll keep selling sheets by myself. Then I said, hey, last week, I sold out of book bags. These book bags, I had 20 of them. I sold 25. I made $500 last week. Who else wants to get rich selling book bags? You would be amazed how many people did not respond. I said, okay, I guess nobody else wants to get rich selling book bags. Here's what I found. That people want one thing, but they'll continue to do what they've been comfortable doing. So although they really want to be rich, and although they may say, all I need is an opportunity, every time an opportunity passes by, they let it pass by. Because what it requires is a little bit of this thing called change. Everybody put in the comments, little change. It requires a little thing called change. I would also say bigger than change. It requires courage. See, you got to have the courage to get out of debt. You got to have the courage to get rich. You got to have the courage. That's why the good book said that be of good courage. He said, do not be afraid. Although you walk into the land of the giants, although you walk in the valley of the shadow of death, you shall not fear. And too many people are looking at their debts. They're looking at that $50,000. They're looking at that $100,000. And they are walking in the valley of the shadow of death, and they are afraid. You gotta have courage. Why go to the church every Sunday and not get courage? Why read the book that says be bold as a lion and you're walking around scared? What is going on? It takes courage. It takes courage. And I see too many feeble black folk walking around shaking in their boots as if they have no power. Have you not read your history? Do you not know where you come from? Do you not know that you were born from kings and queens? Do you not know that you have a lineage of royalty flowing through your brain, your veins? It's only a number. You gotta have courage. All throughout that book that people love so much, it said, be of good courage. Now, I don't know why he said good courage, but be of good courage. I guess he's saying that courage is a good thing. Everybody put in the comments, so courage is a good thing. Courage is a good thing. What's going on, Sir Marketing? Courage is a good thing. You got to have courage to quit that job and start that new thing. You got to have courage to start the business, but not just to start. You got to have courage to finish. See, some of you guys start, you got the courage to start, but you don't have the discipline to complete. Uh-oh. You got started. You made the call. You made the first payment. But then something came about you after you started with courage. You didn't have the discipline to complete. Here's another lesson that I learned growing up when I used to get in trouble, when I used to start to sweep the floor, but I didn't sweep the whole floor. I got punished. Go to your room. You can't go outside today. You only did a half-ass job. What were my parents teaching me? Same thing I'm teaching you today. Finish what you start. Stop starting something, another thing, and another thing, and another thing. Starting all this stuff, but never complete anything. That's the reason why you find yourself broke, because you spent so much energy beginning, but not completing. Starting a thing, but not finishing a thing. Now, this is what happens in so many areas of life. This is what happens in marriage. You start the marriage, you don't finish the marriage. You start the business idea, you don't finish it. You don't complete. That means discipline. Something's wrong with discipline. Right? So we can profess, we can do all this stuff. But if there's no substance to what you say, if there's no substance, if it's just something that you do, it's part of your routine. I just go to church on Sunday. That's just what I do. I go to praise the good Lord, but although I'm going to praise, I still have no change in my heart, no power in my words. I walk out of that place and I'm still scared to death. Something is wrong. Courage is a good thing. It ain't always easy, I tell you. I mean, my goodness, when I was working my way out of debt, I was scared. You know why I was scared? I was scared when the creditors were calling me, acting like they were about to take all my little stuff, the little bit that I did have. And then I realized that that's how it works. He said to the people in the town, he said, because you've done good, let me give you more, because you can double it. But you who has not, even what you do have will be taken from you. So the principle of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer is biblical. He said, even what you do have will be taken from you because you didn't do anything with what I gave you in the first place. This is why. It's biblical. Don't you understand what I'm saying? It's biblical for the rich to get richer and the poor to get poor. Because guess what the poor don't do? They don't do something with what they have been given. They don't do something with what they have been given. Now, my question to you is, what have you been given? What is it that you need to do with what you have been given? Now, here's the thing. I already know that you know the answer. I already know that you know what you should be doing. I know that you know what you have been procrastinating on. I know that you know what you have delayed your obedience in. I know that you know this. For some reason, you're scared to do whatever it is that God has told you to do. You're scared to do or take the next step. We can all talk about what that fear is, but at the end of the day, I know that you know what you are supposed to be doing. I know that you know what you have delayed. I know that you know what you have procrastinated on. I know that you know what you should complete. I know that you know what you started, but you didn't finish. I know that you know about the ideas that have come to you that you've done nothing with. I know that you know what you have hid under the mattress. I know that you know. God says, to him who has, much more will be given. To him who has not, even what he has will be taken away. What is it? What is it? You got to have courage to do what God has told you to do. You got to be of good courage. Now, that's not something that I can't motivate you to have good courage. I can talk about what it is. I know what it looks like, but I can't make you get up, get out, and go get something today. That's what I can't make you do. That's a choice. You got to choose to, regardless of how I feel, regardless of what it looks like, I'm going to do what God told me to do. And I'll let the rest fall where it may. I'll let the chips fall where they are. If God told me to call somebody, I'm going to call them. If he told me to say something to somebody, I'm going to say it. I'm just going to do what God told me to do. I'm going to get out the way. And I'm going to let him lead the way. And I'm just going to follow his lead. And guess what? God wants to lead you. God wants to lead you to prosperity. God says that I have plans for you, a hope in the future. Hey, he said, do this and you'll have prosperity. He's got a plan for you. Everybody put in comments. So God has a plan for me. God has a plan for me. The Lord will order your steps. God has a plan for me. Now, here's the thing. You may also have a plan, but does your plan align with God's plan? See, I'm going to tell you when my life really changed. I'm going to tell you when success really began to come in abundance. I'm going to tell you what happened when the land of milk and honey began to pour into my cup. When I said, damn my plans. God, what is your plan? And see, every day I wake up, that's the first thing I say, God, what do you have for me to do today? I wake up sometimes, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do today. I don't know where I'm going to go. I mean, it's good to try to plan your whole life out, but shit, I may not be here tomorrow. I need to worry about today. And I just simply ask, God, what do you got for me today? Where do I need to go? What do I need? What you got for me? And then slowly but surely, he unveils his plan for today. I don't need to know the plan for tomorrow. I don't need to know the plan for next week. I don't need to know the plan for next year. I'm living in the moment. Now, the plans that I have are things that I tell God, here's what I want to do. Say, hey, God, I want to start a school. I want to build a school. He said, okay, I got you. But before you build that school, we got to build you. Before you have all that stuff, we got to make sure that you are ready for it. We got to build you. I got to show you some things along the way before you get to running that school. Because can you run your day? Can you run an hour while you're trying to run a school? Right? So I simply ask. And guess what happens when I ask? I receive. God has a plan for me. Now, do you really want to be rich? See, when I showed you the sheets and I showed you the book bags and I showed you the other things, here's what also God has done. He's opened up pathways. He's given doors of opportunity to other people. And as I said, it's amazing how many people say they want something. And then when the opportunity is there for them to do something with what they say they want, the opportunity for them to execute or to capitalize or to seize the day, they shrink. It's almost as if, dang, God, you were serious. Like, I wanted that, and now it's available. I can't believe that you would bless me so much. Like, you would really make it available to me. He said, you said you wanted it. He's like, yeah, I did want it. Well, here it is. But I can't believe you're giving it to me. Well, what do you mean you can't believe I'm giving it to you? You said you wanted it. I give it to you, but then you don't take it. This not making any sense. You say you wanted it. I give it to you. And then you won't take it. What's wrong? Why don't you want the good things in life? Why don't you take the good stuff that I'm putting before you? I prepared a table before you in front of your enemies. Why don't you sit down and eat? Why don't you receive, accept the good stuff that I'm giving you? You asked for it. I'm giving it to you. I'm telling you, God got to be frustrated. I mean, I'm telling you, if I was the dad, father, think about it for a second. I want you to think about this for a second. How many guys got children? I know Sir Mark, you got some children. I don't know who else. Jennifer, you got a child. Bethany got a child now. Everett, Yvette, Mr. Goodrich, I think you got a child. Just imagine this. Your child, it's Christmas time because Christmas is coming up. And your child asks for a specific gift for Christmas. And then Christmas comes, they go to the Christmas tree, they open up their gift, they ask for some shoes. And in the box, they see some shoes. They ask for the shoes. They receive the shoes. And then they say to you as the parent, I don't want no shoes. Now you tell me, parent, father, mother, How would that make you feel? They asked for something. You gave it to them. And then they will not accept the gift that they received, that you gave them, that they asked for. How would that make you feel? If your child, your son, your daughter, your grandson, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew asked you for a present, a gift, and you gave it to them, and then they do not accept it. This is what we're doing, people. This is what's going on. We're asking, God help me. We're receiving, here you go. And we're not accepting our answered prayers. Hold on, Shabbat, I'm preaching good. We're not accepting our answered prayers. And then what we do? We go and we pray it all over again. We're like, God, like, wait a second. You just prayed for this a week ago. I brought you the answer. You didn't accept the answer. What do you want me to do? I mean, what can I do at this point? I mean, these are some silly wabbits. These humans complicate everything. You asked me. I told you if you ask, you shall receive. You received it. It came into your hands. It came into your sight. An angel came into you. Maybe it came in a way that you didn't think it was going to come. You didn't realize that this was the answer to my prayers. You saw it one way, but it came another because you are not God. His ways are not your ways. His thoughts are not your thoughts. So you, in your mind, think it should be this way. He said, no, that's not the best way for you. I got to give it to you this way. And because you will fail to recognize, everybody put God's will recognize, because you fail to recognize the gift that God has given you, which is the answer to your prayers, you don't accept it. Maybe you don't feel like you deserve your prayers answered. Maybe it's time for the renewing of your mind. Maybe you should do what I suggest. Don't just go to church. Actually read the Bible. I want to say that again for the people in the back. Don't just. Now, I'm not saying don't go to church. What I said is don't just go to church. Actually read the Bible. If you're going to go, read the Bible. Even if you don't go, read the Bible. I'm telling you, once you actually read, once you study and show yourself approved, once you meditate on the word day and night, if you stop going or don't go or continue to go, my advice to you is actually read. Take the time, 10 minutes out the day, 30 minutes out the day, an hour a day. Open up the good book. Actually read what God has said. And stop depending on a man or a woman to feed you. I'm telling you at this point in time, brothers and sisters, it's time for you to feed yourself. When's the last time you opened the book? When's the last time you fed yourself? See, it's time for you to mature. No longer should you be a babe waiting on somebody to feed you like you got milk, like you need milk. It's time for you to feed yourself. You're a grown woman. You're a grown man. It's time for you to feed yourself. And I see too many people who are trying to still wait to be fed on Sunday when they can feed themselves every day. This is why, as I'm in position, I no longer give. I teach. I teach. I'm not going to give you a fish. What we're going to do, we're going to go out to this pond, and I'm going to teach you how to fish. Now, if you don't want to learn how to fish, well, I guess you ain't going to eat. Not for me. Now, somebody else might give it to you. But you're going to be in the same position tomorrow. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to teach. You come on out to the farm, you come on out to the lake, and I'm going to teach you how to feed, how to fish. I'm going to teach you how to farm. I'm going to teach you how to raise. If you refuse to come because you said you're hungry, If you refuse to come so you can learn how to fish, well, basically you're saying, I don't want to eat like that. Do you really want to be rich? Now, when I say that I teach, that's exactly what I did this past weekend. Somebody said it was broke, busted, disgusted. They decided to show up. And I taught them how to fish. Somebody said they were broke, busted, and disgusted on Saturday. They decided to show up. And I taught them how to fish on Saturday. And I make the same opportunity to anybody who follows me. Hey, last week, I sold 40 sets of sheets, made over $1,000. Who else wants to get rich selling sheets? You'll be amazed how many people don't want to get rich selling sheets. Now, let me say this. It's okay if you don't want to sell sheets. The point is, do something that works. And as I study billionaires, I want to make this point. As I study billionaires, here's what I don't see the billionaires doing. I don't see the billionaires joining multi-level marketing companies. I don't see the billionaires being life coaches. I don't see the billionaires as motivational speakers. You know what I see most of the billionaires doing? Selling products, sugar, commodities, right? I see them owning stuff. This is what billionaires do. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get by. I'm not saying that you can't get rich. I'm not saying you can't be a millionaire. I'm just saying as I study wealthy people, this is what the majority of the wealthy people do. They build and they own. I'm just saying. See, most of us never study wealthy people. Products, commodities, they invest, all that stuff, right? And so what happened for me is I began to study these people and I read their stories. I was like, you know what? Because you know what I've been trying to do, right? I've been trying to teach financial literacy. I don't see none of them teaching financial literacy. So I said, well, shit, something must be up. Now, I don't mean I can't teach financial literacy. What that means is I probably need to get rich first. And then I opened up my nonprofit to teach financial literacy for those who want to learn. But what I know now is most people don't want to learn about money. So it's trying to teach people something or give something to people that they don't want is foolish. I simply give people what they want. What is it that some people want that I know that they want? Well, one of the things that I know that they want, right, and I know they got to have is toothpaste. Another thing that I know that people want that they got to have, sheets. You know, something else I know people want that they love to have, they love to smell good. We got certain marketing here. See, what we do in our group, what we do is we provide opportunity for people to get out of debt and to get rich. And what we find is that most people don't really want it bad enough to join the group, to get access so they can get out of debt and get rich. See, what most people want, they want someone else to do the work for them and they reap the benefits. They reap the rewards from somebody else's work. That's a problem. Rich people understand that there is no such thing as something for nothing. So I don't really care what you say you want. What I really am concerned about at this point in time is what are you willing to work for? Because we keep this cycle up and we keep teaching our children to be entitled, thinking they can get something for nothing. Well, where do you think they got that from? They got that from the people who raised them. And who raised them? You. And who are they going to marry? Other people like you. And then what are they going to do? They're going to teach the same thing to the next generation. Oh, yeah, you should get something for nothing. You should be paid just because you look good. This is the stuff that's going on. This is ridiculous. The buck has got to stop somewhere. Why don't it stop with you? That's why Joshua said this. As for me and my house, I'm not going to concern myself with what everybody else is doing. I'm not going to concern myself with the Joneses. I'm not going to concern myself with the Louis Vuittons. I'm not going to concern myself with the rich people, the wealthy people. As for me and my house, this is what we are going to do. Well, what about you and your house? Are you going to continue to teach your children that there's this such thing as something for nothing? Or are you going to continue to teach your children that if they twerk for the Instagram, they can get paid? Are you going to continue to teach your children that, hey, don't get an honest job, just go sell some weed and make it? Are you going to teach your children the street life? What are you going to do? Here's an interesting quote that came from Eric Thomas. I found it very valuable. He said this. He said, rich people don't work. Slaves do. You know what rich people do? Rich people think. Everybody put in the comments, so think. Let me say that again. I was like, wow. He said, rich people don't work. Slaves do. You know what rich people do? They think. And they think about how to get other people to do the work that makes them rich. Rich people don't work. Slaves do. Rich people think and figure out ways how to get the slaves to do the work to make them rich. One of the biggest discoveries in life is for you to discover the power of your thoughts, the power of your creativity, the power of your imagination, and then ultimately the power of your execution. To change your life, you must change the way you think. If you refuse to change, everything else remains the same. My last question to you today, people. Do you have the courage to change? The courage to get out of debt? The courage to get rich? The courage to follow the yellow brick road? The courage to make a difference? The courage to be a shining example? The courage to be the salt of the earth? The courage to be the light at the end of the tunnel? The courage to lead the next generation and the generations beyond to the wealthy place? Do you have the courage to change? You must be wealthy in your mind long before you're wealthy in your wallet. Do you really want to be rich? This is New Black Wall Street. Money Talks with ERGJ. I want to say thanks so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you took some time to hit that like button, that share button, because I believe that there's brothers and sisters who are connected to you that even if this message wasn't for you, it may be for them. Too many of us are walking around in fear. Fear of our debts. Fear of the future. Fear of the present. It's time for us to change that. The good book has been written 2,000 some odd years ago, and it said, be of good courage. Do not fear, for I am with you. And if you know that the God of this earth is with you, who shall you fear? Who If God is for you, who can be against you? Who? The God who created everything is for you? Who? Who? Tell me who can be against you? I want you to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, I want you to turn your cup over. Taste and see that God is good. And let the land of plenty, the land of opportunity, the land that's flowing with milk and honey, pour into your cup. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.